Hi, this is the second short film in a series of 5 films that we've developed to support you in writing your PSF application. This particular one is going to focus on supporting you in making the decision of which level of fellow to actually apply for. For this presentation, I will assume that you have an awareness of the UK PSF and its general structure. And what I want to look at now is, for somebody thinking of applying for a fellowship, I want to think about which level of fellow you should be considering applying for. The first thing to think about in terms of the level of fellows is that level is probably not the right word, and it is not a hierarchy. Each of these are standalone awards that just indicate your role within teaching and learning within the institution. Okay, let's look at the role of Associate Fellow. The Associate Fellow tends to be somebody who has a supporting role within teaching and learning. They may be somebody who's new to higher education and new to teaching as a role. They may be an associate lecturer. They may be a research assistant supporting students with their research. They may be a laboratory demonstrator. They may be a student experience officer. The key points for this is, firstly, if we consider the dimensions of practice, an associate fellow only needs to demonstrate they are engaging with 2 of the 5 areas of activity. As said, they need to be able to demonstrate at least a supporting role in teaching and learning. And generally, they have a role that means they are enabled to address all 5 areas of activity. Within the 2 areas of activity, they need to also be able to demonstrate suitable core knowledge and suitable professional values. And for most applications, that means that they need to engage with all of the areas of core knowledge and all of the professional values. If we move on and look at the level of fellow, the level of fellow is the most common level applied for staff with a lecturing or senior lecturer's role, and they tend to be early to mid-career academic staff with 3 years experience or more within higher education. The key points to think about if you think you want to apply for a fellow is that you need to have a substantive teaching role. You need to have more than 3 years experience to be able to demonstrate the range and the sustained engagement with the dimensions of practice. And you need to be able to meet all areas of activity, and through all the areas of activity, engagement with all of the dimensions of practice. The common one that some staff who have a more supporting role in teaching and learning struggle with is the area of activity 3 that focuses on assessment and feedback. In order to apply for the fellow, it is recommended that you have a role within marking of students' assignments, and this can exclude some staff with a supporting teaching role. Okay, let's look at the senior fellow. I think the first thing is that they need to be staff who are highly experienced, with a sustained record of engagement with the dimensions of practice and the ability to demonstrate a sustained impact on the student experience. They also need to be somebody who can demonstrate a leadership and mentorship role in teaching and learning. They need to have a role where they are leading colleagues or mentoring colleagues in order to support those colleagues in providing quality teaching and learning. They tend to be people with a principal lecturer's role, senior learning and teaching fellow, program leadership role. The key points is that their role must have a teaching and learning focus, and some leadership roles don't fit into the teaching and learning category. The title Senior Fellow should not be automatically linked to the role of Senior Lecturer, as some Senior Lecturers do not have the required leadership and mentorship role. And an applicant needs to be able to demonstrate a sustained engagement with all the dimensions of practice over a number of years. And we would normally recommend 5 years or more engagement with these dimensions. The senior fellow could already be a fellow, or they may not be a fellow, and there's nothing to stop somebody with the right profile being able to apply straight for senior fellowship. Finally, principal fellowship. There are probably few members of staff within most institutions that meet the requirements of principal fellow. You need to be able to demonstrate strategic leadership at least an institutional level. You need to be able to also demonstrate institutional or national or international impact on the quality of teaching and learning within higher education. So the main points of a principal fellow are the ability to demonstrate strategic leadership in teaching and learning. This is not just being able to demonstrate leadership at a faculty level. So somebody could have a significant influence on the quality of teaching and learning at faculty level, but still not meet the requirements of principal fellowship. So let's have a look. If you're still not unsure about what level of fellowship you want to apply for, please use the CELT webpage identified here. Please come and make an appointment to see one of us through the drop-ins. Have a look at the online resources on the webpage, and if you're still unsure, you can also email us at psf@mmu.ac.uk.